Welcome to Monday Night Chat with SK. So again, I wanted to start you guys off with a little bit of uplifting music to get us started with this conversation because it is an uplifting conversation. Again, the topic of the day is being intentional about your what's next. First, before I get into this conversation, I do want to thank everyone who shared well wishes and condolences to me and my family during our time of grief of losing my father. It is still very difficult. But one thing I would like to share that a lot of people may not know is thank you. A lot of people may not know is that my dad is 94 years old. So he lived a long life and he lived his life on his terms. He raised his children and he did a wonderful job of doing so, and he did it on his terms. Like there are, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, my daddy was perfect, but my daddy raised me and he did right by me and I love him and appreciate and honor him for that. So I want to thank everyone who shared condolences to me during that time. But it also, in honor of my dad, this conversation makes a lot of sense because, at 94, not a lot of people get to 94, right? So although we would love to have longevity like that, life is now. And because life is now, we have to constantly be aware and in constant conversation with ourselves about the what's next. So what I mean about what's next, I mean like being intentional about your purpose. When we set out in our careers or, even before we get to start talking about careers, like when we're leaving school, like middle school, I think that conversation of like what's next starts in middle school, right? Because after middle school, they're telling you like what kind of high school you want to go to. Do you want to go to a specialized high school? Do you want to go to a high school for the arts? So that what's next conversation starts to me in middle school, right? Because elementary school, what's next. You're going to junior high school, right? And most often you don't really have many choices. You have to go to the middle school that is in your district. But when it comes to high school, that's when you start making choices. You start making decisions about your life. And it starts with picking your high school, right? Sounds basic, but it's important because it starts to put those jewels in your mind about what is my purpose, what is something that I'm good at, what is something that I am looking forward to doing, where do I want to see myself in the near future, right? And like I said, it sounds very small and very trivial picking your high school, but believe it or not, it's a really big decision, right? Because then you have to think about what steps I need to take to get to said high school. Is it a high school that I can just apply for because it's in my district and there's no requirement? Is it a specialized high school where I may have to audition or take a test? So decisions are starting to be made at this very tender age of 14, 15. But these are really crucial moments in where you're starting to think about where you want to go and what's next, right? And I want to believe that most of the folks that are on Monday Night Chat are probably past high school ages. And so when I'm talking about the what's next, I'm talking about your purpose, right? And I was reading an article that said that, we go through life, you may be working at a job and at those jobs, you gain skills, you build relationships, you build networks and things like that. Even in your personal life, you date, you meet people, some people get married, some people don't. They're still trying to figure out what works and what fits in their lives as far as a romantic partner or someone or future partner, someone they want to build a life with. They're also, you start trying to figure out if you want to have children. Do you want to build a legacy? What what does life look like for you? And those are all major decisions that sometimes we don't really take serious, right? We may think we are, but sometimes we just like fall into things. We like, oh, a friend of mine told me about this job, so I'm gonna go ahead and go over there and do that. Or, I met this nice woman, or I met this nice guy, and you date them for a while and y'all have a kid, um, or whatever have you. And this is not to say that nobody does it. It's not the norm, right? It's not the majority of people doing being intentional about purpose, or being intentional about the what's next. And the reason why I wanted to have this conversation, not like, I'm not big on the whole New Year's resolution types of things, but however, because life is now, is never too late or too early to have this conversation. um Another thing that came up in an article that I was reading, I believe the source is from Yelp, and hey, when this happens, Yelp and Tom. It's an article from Yelp and Tom. And basically it says that during this time of purposeful living, or being intentional about your purpose, you start to pay a lot of attention to one person in particular. And because we sometimes we have interactions, sometimes we don't. I'm gonna ask the question and answer it, right? Who is that person? Who is that person you're paying close attention to when you're focusing on purpose, right? Some people may answer and say, oh, my kids. Some people may say, oh, my partner. Some people may, oh, God, or my church, or you're gonna get a lot of different answers when asking somebody, well, who is that one person, or who are you thinking about when you're building your purpose? But the reality is, if you're really in that purposeful living journey, the one person that you're going to be sending a lot of attention to is yourself. Why? Because this is the moment you get to evaluate and do inventory on yourself. What skills and abilities have I accumulated over time? What are the things that I love, like, or dislike? Um, what are some things I'm open to? What are some things I need to work on? Where am I emotionally? Where am I physically? Where am I financially? And it starts with self, right? And if you're really good at being purposeful during your purposeful journey, you'll write these things down, right? A lot of people are doing the trendy thing of doing vision boards, right? Where they're, putting their visions on this in a creative way, to have a visual aid to remind them of the things that they set out to do to build the life that they want. And what I would say is, although that is a beautiful way of being and a beautiful thing to do, it's important to spend a lot of time thinking. Right. And I know some folks may be saying, well, Shimona, we think all day. We think at our jobs. We're thinking when we're with our families. We're thinking when we're in our social environments. Why are we trying to create another opportunity for thinking? Why I say spend more time thinking? Because you want to spend more time learning, right? You want to spend more time learning, because when you're learning and thinking, you're absorbing new information that you may not have had, or tapping into information that you weren't aware of. So I say all the time, stay curious, ask questions, even to yourself. Where am I right now? I have this thing that I'm doing now where I'm putting scheduled time to check in with myself about where I am with my purpose, right? Does Because sometimes you will decide on something, right? You say, okay, you know what, this is what I want in my career, right? And 30 days may not sound like a long time, but so much can happen in 30 days. You may meet a new person, you may learn a new skill, you may be aware of a new opportunity, you may, something may happen where you have to move locations. So many things can happen. But if you're always checking in with yourself, where am I now? Right? What's available to me right now? You can begin to shift and negotiate with yourself around your purpose, right? And that doesn't mean be whimsical about purpose, because you want your purpose to be a stand. You want it to be grounded in something, right? But you also don't want to be so um unwilling to, or you want to be flexible in how it looks. Because sometimes we get so caught up in how it looks, we miss out on the opportunity. Like, oh no, I'm supposed to make 100,000 a year being a such and such analyst, whatever, right? Let's say, for instance, that's the example. You may think that that one job you're supposed to make that with six figures, but the reality is it could be in multiple uh, streams of income that you're getting that six figure, but you're not getting that at that one job or that one opportunity. So don't be so caught up in the how, right? Focus on the what, right? What's next? The other thing that I was thinking about when wanting to talk about this conversation is that a lot of times when we talk about the what's next, we talk about goals. We talk about meeting benchmarks and metrics and things of that nature, right? And if you're really intentional about your what's next, you're also thinking about your spiritual growth, right? Whatever that looks like. And sometimes spiritual growth is not connected to a set goal. Sometimes spiritual growth is asking for a certain type of awareness, a certain type of healing, right? Or creating a different environment for yourself. Um, and sometimes those things don't come with goals. Like, you know, you can say, oh, I want to heal from that broken heart in 90 days. Or I want to be more open to forgiveness within a year. Like that doesn't even sound right, right? You know? So when it comes to purposeful living, it's like, yes, there may some maybe some things that you're going to have metrics on. Like for me, one of my things is I want to be debt free within a year. So next year, this time, I want to be completely debt free, right? That, yes, that's a goal. So there's steps that need to be taken in order to get there. There's a plan, there's a strategy. And one of my students said she called it the grand strategy. And you use your tools and your methods to get to that grand, and use that grand strategy to get to your overall goal, right? So but there are things that don't require that much planning, right? It's more being. You're being that, not trying to be it or creating a goal around being it or taking steps to be it. You're being, you're just it, right? You're in the moment. You say, I want to have more loving relationships, right? Let's say, let's say that is one of your goals, to have more loving relationships, or I don't like to say more, to have loving relationships, right? Because what I learned in doing declarations and being clear on purpose and talking about purpose is that when you put these quantitative words on it, you kind of either limit yourself or not make responsible goals, right? So if you don't quantitate it, wherever you are, seeing you celebrate, right? When you put like these quantitative um words around it, you kind of take the momentum out of it.
I'm always gonna support her. I don't care.
So um you you think about those type of purposeful living opportunities in being it. I'm going to be more loving, right? I'm going to be more trusting. And I'm not going to say how much more or how many days I'm going to start. I'm going to start trusting people by, April 2024. Like that doesn't even sound good, right? So you just be it. Be more trusting, right? And then you're going to find that growth because you're making an intention to do that, right? Um I want to say that purposeful living also gives you an opportunity to see yourself in a future light, right? And I know a lot of people say, don't worry about the future, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has its own problems, all those other cliche sayings, right? And all of those things may be true. We don't want to worry about tomorrow. It's not about worrying about tomorrow. It's about being clear on the vision for what tomorrow looks like, right? That helps you um do your inventory, right? Because if you do your, so if the vision is to have loving relationships and you know there are things inside of you that hasn't healed, that helps you then work on healing so that you can meet that expectation of having loving relationships. Because the reality is, if there's some healing that needs to be done within, having loving relationships can be difficult because there are going to be some barriers, there are going to be some walls and limitations in how loving you will be, right? And you limit your relationships. And that doesn't mean not have boundaries for your love. That doesn't mean have hold people accountable to respect and value your love. That just means don't limit yourself in being loving the way that you want to be, what you want. Because a lot of times we have these things that we want, and we have this fear of how people are going to react, right? So we're like, oh, I'm not doing that because they're not going to love me back, or I'm not going to do that because I don't trust people, or I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get hurt. And so whereas you have set out to say, I want more loving, or I want loving relationships, you have already cut yourself off because you've already said these people are responsible for how much love I'm going to give. You already cut yourself off. You're like, oh, it's conditional. That's what I'll say. It becomes conditional. Like, so then it shouldn't be, I want loving relationships. Like, I'm going to have conditional loving relationships. My love is going to come with conditions. Look, fill out this application. If you don't have the requirements, you will not get my love. Don't limit yourself. If your purpose, if your vision, your mission is to have loving relationships, allow love, but also know that you have to do inventory and realize what are some things that could get in the way of having those loving relationships. And like I said earlier, if we are focused on self, purposeful living is focused on self, but there's a catch. Although purposeful living is about self, you also want to know that your purpose is going to impact others. It's about legacy. One of the things I've always said about myself is that I want people to say something nice about me at my funeral. Okay. But no, I'm joking, but seriously, what is your legacy? What are you leaving behind? What are people going to say about you when you're gone? What are you leaving in history? Right? Are you leaving grudges? Are you leaving you know, upset? Are you leaving debt? Are you leaving unfinished business, untapped talent? Are you leaving uncompleted projects? Are you leaving not open businesses? Are you leaving hurt feelings? Is that going to be your legacy? So these are the things in your purpose that you are going to be intentional about, right? But you have to know you first. So that's why it starts with self. It says you're about to start paying a lot of attention to yourself. The person that you might typically ignore or move to the bottom of your priority list. Does that make sense to y'all? That you, at times, put yourself at the bottom of your priority list? That don't make any sense. So how are you being authentic with anyone when the one person that you should have the strongest relationship with, you're putting that person last? Most people think that's noble, and it's not. Because people will treat you how you treat you. right? I'm going to do a Monday night chat about the golden rule and the platinum rule. We have been taught to treat people how they want to be treated, right? That's the golden rule. Treat people how they want to be treated. But the platinum rule, and which is the elevation, the transcending thought, is to treat people how they want to be treated. And in thinking that if 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 the goal is to treat people how they want to be treated, and you're treating yourself badly, you're putting yourself at the bottom of the priority, how do you think people think that you want to be treated? Only you know. But if you're treating yourself well, if you show up for you, if you are on time for you, if you do the things that you need to do for you, then people will say, no, she ain't about that life, or he ain't about that life. You got to treat him with respect. You gotta stand, what my daughter says, stand on business with them, because it starts with us. And until we realize the importance of and the value in ourselves, people will not value us. Jobs will not value us. The universe will not value us. Opportunities won't value us because we don't value us. If you don't say, you know what, I'm worth more than this, you put your value at the top line. And it's not about being cocky, because sometimes we think, and me too. I do it too, where I'm like, I want to be cocky. I don't want people to think I think I'm all that. Maybe you are all that. Maybe we all are all that. I'm all that, you all that. Everybody's all that. If we all that, nobody's lacking, right? And we all stepping and standing on business, right? And if we all stepping and standing on business, there's no struggle. There's nothing to advocate for. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to heal from, because we all standing on business. But it starts with valuing yourself. It starts with evaluating yourself. And that's the journey through purpose, right? So the article also goes on to say that track how much time you spend with yourself. Who does that? Who does that? Who tracks how much time they spend with themselves? Do you even know how much time you spend with you? I know I don't know. I don't know how much time I spend with me because I'm not thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about how much time I'm spending at work because I want my paycheck to look nice. I'm thinking about how much time I'm spending in school because I want to accomplish my goals, my educational goals. I'm probably tracking how much time I spend with my lover or my friends. I may, and these are maybes, because sometimes we're not even tracking that either. We're probably tracking, probably not in numerically, but we're probably tracking how much time we're spending with our children and our families. But are you tracking how much time you spend with you? Do you even value you now? Or do you pay you in it that much attention that you know how much time you spend with you? You don't. I can guarantee you don't, because I've never heard that a day in my life, okay? Until I read this article. But now we have a new awareness that we get to pay that much attention to ourselves, detailed attention to ourselves, to track how much time we're spending with us, right? That includes your showers and your sleep. I want to say that. I don't know if the article is going to say that. The article doesn't say anything about sleep or showers, but that's time you're spending with you. You're sleeping in your bed with your conscious, unconscious, but you're spending time with you. In your shower, unless you're taking showers with your boo, you're with you, right? Um, but once you leave the house, like leave the shower, when you're commuting, you're with other people. One of the things I used to love to do was go to dinner by myself. Why I love to go to dinner by myself was that I didn't have to be obligated to entertain the person I'm sitting across from. Right? It was, I'm gonna get my food. I'm gonna enjoy my food. I didn't have to, come up with conversation, ask how your food is. I'm just eating and enjoying the moment. And I think I enjoyed food differently because now I'm focusing on the savoriness. I don't know if that's where y'all. The taste of the food. the taste of the food. I'm focusing on how I'm chewing. I'm enjoying the flavors that are in my mouth at the time. And whatever the other surroundings, I'm focused on the me. Right. I also used to go to the movies by myself. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm the worst person to go to movies with because I ask questions during the movie. And I swear to God, you've seen the movie before. I'd be like, what he get ready to do? Where he going? Is that the man from and I don't go to the movies with me. I'm sorry. I'm that person. I talk in the movie, I ask questions, I make the movie bad. I'm sorry. Sometimes like it depends on what it is though. If it's a Marvel movie, I'm usually like cool, calm, and collected because I love Marvel movies. But I like to go to the movies alone. It was fun. And my friends would tease me like, oh, why you go to the movies alone? That's weird. I used to travel alone because I know how I am. I know what I like in my room. I know where I used to get all excited, fold my clothes up, put it in the drawer. I used to plan out my day, what I'm gonna do. When you travel with other people, what you gotta do? All right, so what y'all wanna do? Everybody gotta come to a consensus. You irritated because they don't want to do what you want to do. Now your trip messed up. But if you go by yourself, guess what? You get to do all the things that you want to do. And it's okay to go with groups. It's okay to go on family trips. But experience a vacation alone, experience a trip alone, experience a meal alone, experience something fun alone so that you know how you are with you. Spend more time with you. And that's part of your purpose journey, right? Because I can guarantee you that in those moments alone, you found profound things out about yourself. You find innovative things that you want to do because you're focused on you. You're in your head. You're not. It's interesting that sometimes when you're in conversation with somebody else, you tend to kind of like take on what they're saying. Not like you're a follower or you're a yes man, but sometimes because someone is adding information into your brain, you start to shift in their direction. Or if they're challenging you, you start to, oh, maybe you're right. But if you were you, only one you debating with is you. Only one you grabbing it and learning from is you, right? And I know I'm harboring on this you thing, but it does go into community, right? But it starts with you, right? So the article then goes on to say, I'm not going to read all of them. It says, monitor your jealousy. Now, I know a bunch of folks going to be on here saying, I'm not jealous. I don't get jealous. Sweetheart, you do. You do. We all do, right? So what the article says about that says it might feel like it might not feel like it, but jealousy is actually a really useful emotion. The unfortunate thing is that we're never taught how to use it. You can use your experiences of jealousy to help you figure out what you want to do with your life. That happened to me recently. I want to say 2 years before I started Monday Night Chat, actually. You see how you use it usefully? I was on social media and I was watching everybody doing what they do, vacations, bodying, and all this stuff. And I was like, feeling down about myself. And I was like, oh, such and such got a baby, such and such got a boyfriend, and such got a husband and got married. And I was feeling really not nice about myself. And so I said, I'm take a break off of social media because I need to ground myself and I need to come because I don't want to be a jealous person. I didn't want that emotion, right? And before I came back, I realized I was like, I know what I want to do. I want to do a talk radio or I want to do a podcast. That came after my jealousy because when I was thinking about what everybody else was doing, I was forced to figure out how I make my individualize myself and stand out from the rest. How do I get people to be jealous of me? That wasn't the goal. But it's like, how do I make myself stand out? I don't want to be like everybody else, but I want to have that feeling, that gratification of being accomplished and feeling good about something I'm doing and having purpose, right? And so the article also goes on to say each time you experience jealousy, your body is trying to tell you something. Take a look at that thing that's making you feel jealous and ask yourself, what is it about the situation that's making me feel jealous? And then look at how you can bring some of that into your life. Maybe what you're jealous of means that it's untapped talent, something that you really aspire to do, and you're watching somebody else do it while you procrastinate and didn't do it. And we got to learn a lesson. Just because I'm doing and you doing, that don't mean we in competition. Because there's a whole world. We don't have the same genre. We don't have the same personalities. We're not offering the same information. We're not offering the same opportunities. We're not offering the same voice. We're not offering the same look. Just because we're doing similar work doesn't mean we're in competition. We can actually motivate each other and elevate each other with our commonalities and our differences. So the next time you see somebody doing something that you're doing, yeah, you may feel some jealousy, but think about what are the opportunities? What are the opportunities for growth in this situation? How can I collaborate with this person to elevate my brand? Like as a podcaster, right? Let's say there are billions, it seem like, of podcasters. We can have a panel where we all bring our different perspectives to a table, and it could be an event and we can all eat, you know, or we can share each other's audiences, or we can, that podcaster could be on my podcast, you know. It's how you use these emotions is what's important, you know. Jealousy sounds ugly because we were taught like, you ain't supposed to be jealous. You special too. Yeah, you might be special, but that doesn't mean that because someone has or is doing something that you're not doing, that you can't do it. If you want to, if you want it that bad, do it. Right? The article also says, also consider what you don't want. Right? We have to be careful though. We have to be careful with the don't wants. Because a lot of times we spend a lot of time talking about what we don't want. Like, oh, I don't want this. You ever ask somebody, so what do you want in life? Well, I don't want to be, that's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. I asked you what you want. I didn't ask you what you don't want. But if you want to talk about what you don't want then, you know? But when somebody asks you what you want, say what you want. Don't start off with, well, I don't want. Be like, oh, so what kind of job do you want? Well, I don't want nothing in retail. I didn't ask you that. I asked you what you wanted. Because when somebody asks you what you want and you say what you want, you might get it. You might just get it. You might actually get it. Because now you're communicating, you're articulating what it is you want. And that opportunity may be available. But if you tell me what you don't want, I can't help you because I don't know what you want. So be aware of your don't wants, but don't let them monopolize. Am I saying that right? Monopolize your vision, right? The don't wants are because what the don't wants does, it helps you create your boundaries. That's what the don't wants do. They're there to set standards. Oh, I don't want this, or I don't want that. That's fine. Okay, well, I'm setting a boundary that this is not going to be. That's what you don't want to do. But when somebody asks you what you want, say what you want. And in order to do that, going back to the beginning, you have to focus on you. Not what somebody said you're good at. I got pigeonholed in that too. Somebody said, oh, you braid hair good. Why don't you be a hairstylist? That's not what I want. That's what you want from me. Or somebody, oh, you can sing. Why don't you be a singer? That's not what I want. That's what you want from me. Right? Be clear on you don't want so you can create boundaries. But if you're asked what you want, say what you want because you just might get it. And if somebody ever asks you, say, Shimona told me to ask for what I want because I might just get it. And that's what purposeful living is. Being intentional on purposes is knowing the difference between the wants and the don't wants and not allowing the don't wants not to play a role in the want. They each have different roles, right? They each have very different roles. Your wants are meant to push you forward in purpose. Your don't wants are meant to create boundaries that don't get in the way of your purpose. Use them for what they are there for. Use them for what they're there for. Purposeful living takes work. Why? Like I said earlier, think, think, think. Learn, learn, learn. Be, be, be. If you're thinking, learning, and being, you're in your purpose. You're in your purpose. Because you're going to find exactly what you are looking for when using those key elements. I was just listening to a talk this Saturday. My little sister Amanda recommended me to go to, and it was so profound. The speaker was talking about an Easter egg hunt, and what he had shared was that in an Easter egg hunt, you know how it goes. Someone goes outside and hide the eggs, right? And what we do after they hide the eggs, we don't know where the eggs are because we don't know where they placed them. We go out and we're looking for them, right? But does that mean the eggs are not there? And if we find them, did we put them there? We just became aware of their presence. We became aware of their location. We knew they were out there somewhere, but when we found them, that's a new awareness. That doesn't mean we created them. That doesn't mean that they weren't there. That means that we became aware. And that is what purposeful living is about. Everything you want and need is already here. It already exists. It is already ordained. It is sitting in the grass like the egg, waiting for you to discover it. And in your purposeful living, when you're thinking, learning, and being, you will find those eggs. You will find those your purpose. You will find the things that bring you value, or better yet, you already have value. You will have the things that will elevate you to match your value, because some of us have value and are not living in our purpose, so we look like we don't have that value. We are underpraising ourselves. Okay, we are underpraising ourselves. You are worth more than gold. You are platinum focused. You are diamond clustered, but you are living in a rock purpose, acting as if you don't have value. It was something else that he said, and not to get too religious on y'all. He said, if you are made in God's image, but you change your name and your location and you pretend that you are not who you originally were, why do you do that? Why do you do that? You're made, you are God. You are a God. But you get here on earth and decide to be what? Less than? No, you are still that. Just because your name and your location changed, you are still a God. So know that. Keep your value. Keep your value. Don't dim yourself down because you are in a new location. This is just a new location for us. And when we leave this body and we leave this earth, that value goes with us. So don't come here and play small. Don't come on earth and play small. That's not what you were meant to be here. And that's why we hurt so bad. That's why we stress so much, because we are not supposed to live like this. We're gods. We're gods. And I know, because we have been taught to dim that down. Oh, don't boost yourself up. You're not a god. He said it. We're made in his image. Okay? He said it, not us. He said it. He ordained it. But we don't live it. And that doesn't mean be perfect. Right? That doesn't mean be perfect. That just means be a God. Live in your purpose. Think, learn, be. Think, learn, and be. And all of this will make sense for you. All of it will make sense for you. Because purposeful living is like, and let's be real, right? Let's be real. We do have a lot of elements in the world that are trying to shift our thinking around that value, right? How people talk to each other, um, adversity, pain, hurt. Y'all see me up here smiling and shining. I've been through the ringer. But I was just singing a song in my kitchen when I first came on. Before I came on, called I Told the Storm. And the song says, I told the storm, storm you can't last. And in this song, it talks about how you can speak power to adversity and tell it has to go. You don't have power over me. I can sit here sad about my dad dying, but he's lived his life. I'm still here. You understand? I could be sad about bad news, things that hurt me, harm me, that change my perspective on certain things, that hurt my feelings. I can sit here and allow all of that to break me down. Or I can say, you know what? I'm a conqueror. Okay? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I can speak power to adversity and let adversity know that I'm in control. It's not. Right? So in purposeful living, you get to have those tools to be able to speak back to adversity with power and let it know who's in control. It's going to come. It's going to come. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that because you're living in your purpose, that you ain't going to have no bills, that people ain't going to hurt your feelings, that things are not going to go your way. Because there are things that are going to happen. But when you're living in purpose, you take those things in stride, you acknowledge where the lesson is, and you push forward and you elevate. I know you guys have seen me post on my page this mantra: the bigger the blessing, the bigger the battle. If you're looking to elevate, just know that you're going to have to climb. When you're on the first floor and you're trying to get to the fifth floor, don't you have to do something? You don't just teleport to the fifth floor. You either walking up some stairs or taking the elevator, but some action has to be taken. Something has to be done. And that's the same thing with life. If you're wanting to elevate to the next level of your life, you're going to have to take some steps. You're going to have to move. You're going to have to move some muscle. You might get a little tired and sweaty. It is what it is. But you get to elevate, unless you want to stay on the first floor. I don't want to stay on the first floor. I want to go up. I want to elevate. The elevator ain't always going to work. You ain't going to always have the fast track to the fifth floor. What if the elevator is not working? It's out of order. What you going to do? Stay on the first floor? You're not going to elevate because the elevator not working? You're not getting the fast track? Nobody's lifting you. So you say, because the elevator's not working, I guess I'm not going to the fifth floor. No, you elevate anyway. You take the harder route. You take those steps. You do what needs to be done to elevate because it's your purpose. And the other thing about purpose that people don't realize, and this is where it becomes community, people are attached to your purpose. So when you don't go to the fifth floor, you hold everybody attached to you back. So if you're, and this is, I'm speaking to me too. I'm speaking to me too. And Amanda is grinning at me and pointing at me. I'm speaking to me too. Okay. When you don't write that book to share that story or that information or that message, you hold all the people back that needs to hear it or read it. When you don't start that business, or open that school, you hold all the people back that either supposed to attend your school or get provided your service. When you don't do and you don't live in your purpose, the people attached to your purpose are held back. The world is held back. Okay? The world is held back. Because now people like, and somebody said it, I can't remember where it was. Somebody said, this world is crazy. The world is not crazy. The world is whirling. The world is doing what it do. Right? And it is us that bring that element into the world. Right? We're bringing the element into the world. So when we're not doing what we're supposed to do, the crazy is our fault. Right? Those unhealed hearts, those unfed kids, those people lacking hugs, those people still homeless, those people still hurting, those people feeling lonely. All of the things that the service, because everything we do, I don't care what business you're in, is a need to service. Even doing this podcast is a form of service. I'm providing a space. I'm providing information. I'm providing a connection to bring forth a bigger goal of community, of healing, of understanding, of awareness. That's a service. I'm servicing right now. I'm in service. I don't care if you build buildings. That is a service. You build the buildings, people are served because they get to live. If you cook food, that is a service. People get to eat. If you mop a floor, that is a service because people need to walk on a clean floor and not have to get diseases. Everything we do is a service. I don't care what it is you do. It is a service. So because we are in service, there are so many people attached to the things that we do. So many people attached. You're a hairstylist. Hairstyling is a form of self-care. When people go, sometimes people need self-care to feel better. You know, they're having a rough day, or they need that hair done to keep their job, or their husband, or whatever. It's a service for the world, right? You're impacting millions, you're impacting billions of people. But when you're not in your purpose, you're holding back millions and billions of people. Even if 700 people are already doing it, it don't matter. Those 700 people can't get to the people attached to you because it's not meant for them to. So take the time to be intentional about your purpose, stay in your purpose, think, learn, be. Continue to be curious about your what's next. Life is now, but you get to be intentional about what's next. What's next for me? And not just jobs, not just careers, not just businesses. What's next for me and my family? What's next for me and my children? What's next for me and my friends? What's next for me and my social connections? What's next for me and my community? What's next for me and my neighbors? What's next for me in my environment? What's next is different for everybody. But until we get intentional about our what's next, we are going to be chaotic and all over the place. Pandemonium. And it's okay to not know your what's next. But if you're thinking, learning, and being, guess what? You're going to find out. You are going to find out. Continue to be on that Easter egg hunt. Continue to look for those eggs. Continue to build your awareness. Continue to be curious about where that purpose is. Because people are waiting for you. They're waiting for you to have the courage. They're waiting for you to acknowledge your value. And they're waiting for you to take a stand for them and stand on business, like Sanaya said. So really, and like I said, it's okay not to know. It's okay not to know as long as you are doing the work to get there. As long as you don't go outside during the Easter egg hunt, be like, I don't know where none of the eggs are. I don't want to play no more. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, wait for somebody to show you where the eggs are. I'm going to wait, see if somebody find the egg first. No. Be first, even if you're last. Message. But no, seriously. Be intentional about your purpose. We are waiting for you. I can't wait to what you have in store. I can't wait to see where you shine. I can't wait to see what your contribution is and what it looks like. I don't care if it doesn't look like what everybody else is doing. It doesn't have to be a book or a business. Your purpose could be, something. It doesn't matter. It's your purpose. It's your purpose if you're intentional. And don't sell yourself short, because a lot of people will wing it or sell themselves short and think they're hurting us, but in reality, you are hurting us, but you're hurting yourself. Don't play small. Somebody will ask me, well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to get a raise at my job. No, you don't. That's not what you want. But you're afraid to say what you want because you're afraid you're not going to get it. But I guarantee you, if you say what you want, you're going to get it. Say what you want. You just might get it. I promise you. Say what you want. But when you say what you don't want, or you play it small, you're gonna get that. You're gonna definitely get that. Oh, I just want to raise at my job. Okay. What's next? That's not what you want. You ever look at somebody, say something like that, you know in your heart of hearts that's not what they want? You be like, that's not what you want. You be like, boy, that's not what you want. What you really want is a mansion on the hills with 10 bedrooms and a pool in the back and a drop top Lamborghini and 10 mil or 20 mil in the bank, infinity money, or you want to make your own money, whatever you want it, but you're afraid you're not going to get it. So you don't want it because it's too painful to think of not having it. But it's okay. Say what you want. It ain't got to make sense to me. All you got to do is make sense to you. But say what you want and really be honest with you. It could be outrageous. Be outrageous. Be outrageous. Be outrageous. It's okay to be outrageous with it. But say what you want. Don't play yourself small. So you can stay comfortable in having what makes sense, what you feel you're guaranteed. I know I get a raise because I've been here, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's not what you want, though. You want to own a business. You want a job making 6 figures or 10 figures for that, whatever. But you're not going to say that. Say what you want. Stop playing small. Go for it. Go for it. Saying it is not going to kill you. You know that, right? Saying what you want is saying what you want is the most scariest thing for people I've ever seen. Literally just saying it. Just saying it is like, oh, people are like, oh, they shaking in their boots. I can't say it. Because that fear of that thought of not having it and the pain that comes with not having it is too scary to bear. So we're unwilling to just say what we want. So again, tonight, I just wanted to really have this conversation. And again, not because New Year's is coming, because life is now. It's not in 2024, because ain't nobody guaranteed to get to 2024. Nobody's guaranteed that, but you can, you can still be intentional about your purpose. You can still be intentional about your purpose without guarantees, without evidence. You can still be intentional about your purpose. And that's what I wanted to share tonight on Monday Night Chat with SK. And before I go, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I have and what's next. So what's next for Monday Night Chat with SK? So not sure if you all seen, we have a community app through Mighty Network. The link is on my Facebook page, and I'll continue to post it on my Facebook page and my Instagram page. There will be more content on YouTube. I'm actually live on YouTube right now. So if anybody is a YouTuber, likes YouTube, I am live both on Instagram and YouTube right now for Monday Night Chat. So you will see more content on YouTube. I will be featured in the The Goddess Within magazine coming soon. I will be working on a Nexus Summit with Amanda Illery from Breath of Life Expressions. We are doing a summit to bring businesses, entrepreneurs, an opportunity to share their gifts and their talents, and also amazing conversations like this and workshops. It's going to be a smorgasbord of information and opportunities. So please come. Once we send out the information, we will make sure that we promote it heavily so that you can come. Our goal, our intention, not our goal, our intention is to have 200 to 400 people in attendance or more. So when we say we sound an alarm, come through, come through, please honor our vision and our mission, because we're working on something. We're up to something great. In addition to that, Amanda from Breath of Life Expressions has a book out. I will also be posting that on my Instagram page. Please support Amanda's book. She is really trying to get people to think about ways that they can rid themselves of negative energy. Because in your purpose, you're going to come across adversity. You're going to come across negative people and negative opportunities. And how do you navigate through that? It ain't always about cutting people off, but you got to figure out how to navigate through that negativity, whether it is to cut people off, or how do you create boundaries around those relationships or opportunities that don't fit the purpose, right? And we just up to so much. Oh, we also are having a sip and chat on December 29th. It is virtual. And in this event, we will be having a social gathering. This is an opportunity for you to meet new people that you may have not known before that day. You will also have a professional licensed mixologist teach you an amazing new drink, holiday drink. She is going to do a demonstration on both a alcohol drink and a non-alcoholic drink. So we will, once you purchase your ticket, tickets are $15. Once you purchase your ticket, you will be able to get the list of ingredients for the drinks, and you will get a link to the Zoom where you can attend the event. I will also be posting that on my page, and Amanda will be also posting it on her page. So please come and support. This is our first fundraising event in our partnership, and we're trying to build towards our Nexus Summit. Because these things cost money. Purpose costs money too. So support the movement. And even if you can't attend, you can make a donation, buy a ticket for somebody else. I don't know. But again, very affordable, $15 for a great social opportunity. We'll be playing music, we'll have great conversation, and you will get to connect with people that can be a part of your purpose. So don't miss out on a great opportunity like that. And I will be also working with Amanda and some other folks to launch my website where you'll be able to book life coaching sessions with me, or group coaching sessions with me, classes, and I'm working on my book. So there is a lot of a what's next with Monday Night Chat with SK and SK. And Shimona. Shimona is also a certified peer specialist. As of January 15th, I will have paper in hand and certified, and moving on to become a certified crisis management peer specialist and a supervisor peer specialist. So we're knocking goals out, but we're really in our purpose. Being in the mental health field is a purpose for me, because someone who has lived experience with mental health, I know firsthand some of the things that are missing from the industry, some of the things that are missing from treatment, which I don't like to use the word treatment, but for support for individuals who are suffering. So instead of me sitting back and complaining, I want to make contribution to that. And so I'm intentional about my work in the mental health field as well. And that's what it looks like to be intentional about purpose, knowing what you want, saying what you want, and going for it. All right. So I want to bid everyone a good night, and thank you so much for listening into Monday Night Chat with SK. Please share with a friend to come every Monday night at 8. We will be on Christmas Day, but it will be like a quick little happy Merry Christmas type of thing. We won't have any deep conversation. But if anyone is interested in sharing comments or reviews about Monday Night Chat, you can DM me, or you can join our community on Mighty Network. And that would be another opportunity and way that you can connect with me and share your insight about how you feel about Monday Night Chat and some of the things you would like to see. We are creating the calendar for next year and thinking about some of the chats that we can have that will empower community, that will build us and continue to elevate us as a community and bring more awareness. So your feedback is integral. And I will be learning new words, because I'll be getting on here not knowing words. But it will be very helpful to know what it is that you want to hear or hear about, so that we can be intentional about those topics and bring you those conversations so that you can be engaged and get what you want. All right. So everybody have a wonderful night, and I'll see you next Monday. Happy holidays. Hold on. Boy, love is driving me crazy. Um, mm. My lives are acting up. I don't know why. It's not letting me post. I have no idea why it's not saving this live.
Oh, we got a jury line. Go ahead, girl. Share your jury. She should have said something.
Who has jury line?
It says Keisha.
Oh, yeah. Is she gonna that's my sister.
I know it says Kirkland. I'm not even.
Oh, excuse me. You wanna fight now or later? I don't think it went on. I don't think it saved on YouTube. I mean on Instagram.
What?
That
This
whole
post?
live. Yes.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
It's fine. We're gonna post this on YouTube. We're gonna link it. So I need
I linked it. I linked the YouTube tonight. So we probably hold on because we probably still live on YouTube.
We was live on YouTube. Oh, that would have been so dope. Yes, we was live on YouTube. Yes, dope. Now we're
Yeah.
gonna make it a thumbnail. Awesome. Let me make this thumbnail. What was your title today?
Being intentional about your what's next. We're still live on YouTube, I think.
Oh, that part. My bad. We not recording though.
We're not recording.
Hey YouTube. This is Mona After Dark.
This is the behind the scenes. There's the bloopers behind the scenes.
This is behind the scenes Mona After Dark. Look at the this is raw.
Oh my god. Hold on, let me see. I can't figure out how to. I gotta end the meeting. Bye.